rolling? Is it live yet? We're live. Got the finger. Okay, guys. So this week we're going to be doing two different streams. Today we're going to be focusing on the reverse De La Riva, and we're going to go over like the basics because I do think that this is a guard that isn't like a guard you can impose on people. It's a reactive guard, and a lot of people will go to it too early and then get their guard pass, or especially against a more advanced, someone of an upper belt always just passes their guard right away because they're not seeing how you defend it. You got to have defense in the forefront when doing this type of guard. And then on Wednesday, I'm actually excited. We're going to actually have Greg here. He's going to be showing some takedowns. So, and we're going to be targeting these takedowns specifically for jiu-jitsu and competition, no-gi and stuff like that, because doing wrestling takedowns are great, but if you aren't aware of a guillotine and stuff like that, you're going to be very apprehensive in your shots. So we're going to be going over some basic fun stuff on Wednesday. All right, so reverse De La Riva. So this is the guard that is the answer to the knee slide pass. It's not like I'm just going to lock up a half guard. Like a lot of people just try diving a half guard on a standing opponent and then the person knee slides. We're going to work on defending against a knee slide pass. So Dave, why don't you come in front of me right over here.
Which side do you want me to pass to?
Right there is fine. I mean, I always like playing my reverse De La Riva on this side. So anytime I'm here, I want to be a little bit on my side. I'm not going to be square to him. If I'm square to him, that means I'm probably going to go to collar and sleeve or spider guard, something like this. A lot of times the person's already at an angle, so I'm going to be on my side this way with my feet up facing him. My knee down and my foot up. And then as he comes in, his knee's going to come in. I'm going to find the reverse De La Riva hook. My other foot is going to be stepping with my toes on the inside. So one more time. He backs away. My knees are in. Knees open. Feet up. As he walks in, I hook. I step on his hip. Now I have to also make sure that my hands are always defending the pressure. So my hands are going to be here. One hand right here on the shoulder. The other hand also on the shoulder, or a little bit by the bicep is fine. Dave is right away putting his hand on my hip. So I have to make sure I always have my foot on the inside. Like ideally I want to be here. But if he already has his elbow down, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to do this motion where I take my foot, I go from the outside and bring it in. All right, so a lot of times I have to push away as I take the foot, kind of similar to the lasso. So he has his hand on the inside. I come inside, toes are in, knees nice and tight, keeping the weight off. All right, and a lot of times the idea is to learn how to go from reverse De La Riva back to De La Riva. So that's just push him away, control the ankle, switch, back to the outside. So let's look at that again. So maybe we're here, or maybe I'm already on my back and I'm on my side. As he steps in, I use my reverse De La Riva hook. My hands are framing away. I'm going to push him away a little bit, lasso over, toes on the inside. And now I'm going to push from here. Hook right here. Let's turn a little bit. I can't quite see where we are. Good. Here. Stepping on his hip is okay, but I want to get it in front of his arm. So I'm going to push, lasso, step in, and I'm defending. The main thing I want to stop him is from putting his knee on the floor. A lot of times people are a little slow and the person gets the knee on the floor. There's no longer a reverse De La Riva. This is basically like a very weak half guard. Like at best I can just cross my legs around just his foot. So I have to make sure that if he does start putting his knee to the floor, I elevate the foot up. See, my hook goes up as his knee goes down. My hook goes up. So let's back up a little bit.
You weren't prepared for all that pressure though, were you?
I wasn't. So much pressure. So I'm here. He comes in. Boom. I extend. Lasso. And then from here, now I can make my first grip. which is a cross collar grip. The other hand slides down to the wrist. A lot of times he may look to grab my knee. So I like to push, tuck my own arm under my knee, and hold. Now there's like, if he does start pressuring into me, I took away his hand. So all I have to do is push him this way and it forces him to post. And then I can recover, or as he backs away, I keep him at a certain range so he doesn't escape. I can always take this foot out, go to my DLR, etc. So we're gonna look at that one more time where we're gonna look to lasso, get our hands framed, and then make our first grip. As he comes in, put the reverse tail hiva hook in, I frame, step on the hip, open up the collar, and make my grip. He goes to grab my knee, I push and tuck. Now I'm going to off balance, maybe pull forward, etc. All right, so the basics is right there. It's going to always be how we keep someone away and how we always recover back. I don't want his weight to be pressuring too much. All right. A lot of times people are trying to do offensive moves when their weight is too heavy on the leg that's between my legs. I want his weight on the other leg, right? So right now his weight is on this leg. Right now his weight is on that leg. This is when I go for my offense. Let's look at the tripod sweep. So let's move back a little bit so I'm not getting to get everything in frame. So what I want to do here is first push him away. Now his weight's off me. My hand is going to stay here. If I had the collar grip, I'll use this hand to kind of keep him away. Now this hand, I can look to grab the ankle. And at this point, I'm going to lift my hips up and I look to trip his foot out. So I just lift, hook, push. All right? So I knock him over with this foot on the hip. This foot kind of trips him. And this hand holding the ankle is what's making sure that he doesn't step out of my guard.
Now you're only going to stop blocking as long as I'm not pressuring. If I continue to pressure, you're not going to grab my ankle.
Exactly. So there's no way I could even start grabbing your ankle right now because your weight is too much forward. So I always look to just push away and kind of play this way. But I always follow you. You see, as I feel your weight shift, I move my head right over here so that my head is under your head. If I kind of imagine like my head being all the way back here, you have the ability to put your head back in my chest, drop your weight down and stuff like this. But if I keep the weight back and I move my head in, I can easily look, I can grab the ankle pretty easily. If you try to like kick your leg back, I have a good control of the hand, of the ankle right here with my hand. Now I'm gonna just take this foot, I'm gonna look to hook the ankle, and then I'm gonna lift my hips up. Then I knock him over. And then how do we get up? We have to make sure that we turn the knees in the other direction. So right now my knees are facing this way. Dave's knees are also this way. Now if Dave wanted to get up, he can just do a technical stand-up very easily. If I take him to the other side, now we're on this hip. If Dave wants to get up, he needs this leg. So if I keep it, it's going to be very tough. I can also use my knee right here against his knee. So as he tries to get up, I just collapse it down. Then I can start getting up, or sometimes I can take my foot, circle it underneath, kind of like I'm doing an Achilles lock, and then it puts me in position to get my leg drag. So let's look at that again. So getting up is all about the technical stand-up. So right now, I have my right hand on the mat here, my right leg in front of you. I need this right leg to get up. If I try to get up without bringing this leg behind me, if I just try to get up this way, I'm going to be easily knocked down. It's going to be very hard. I'm going to meet a lot of resistance. So So I need this leg back. So same thing, when I go to sweep him, I have to understand that he has the same problem. So I frame, I push, I lasso. Now I have my foot right on his hip. I push him away, I position my head so that I can easily grab the ankle, and now I go to sweep him. I lift my hips up, trip, knock him over, and then I know he's going to try to get up this way, so I go this way. I force him to play on his hip. Okay? Now, for me to get up, I can either just get up with my knee in the middle, but then he may use reverse del hiva on me, or I can circle my foot to the inside. He still needs his leg to get up, so I just pick it up. Back up a little bit. So as I come in, I pick it up, bring my knee across, boom. Connect my elbow and knee, head down. As Dave tries to get up, I can keep him down very well, just collapsing his arm.
So what you're doing with your legs is kind of the same as, or it's similar to when we were going over the single X sweep.
Exactly.
Same thing. You have to control my legs so that I can't get up. If you just forget about my legs after you put me on my butt, it's like you did all that work for no reason.
Yeah, so exactly. Single leg sweep was kind of similar to the double ankle sweep. And this one's a little different because I don't have both ankles, right?
Right.
However, the same principles of getting up is still
Right.
the same. The person needs to be on one hip to get up if they expect to get up. Okay, this is one of the warm-up exercises we do in class, and it's for good reason, because if you understand how to get up the right way, you're not going to be just like scrambling and try to scramble up before the person. You're going to be always able to be one step ahead and get up before the other person gets down.
Can you talk about the hooks a little more? I'd like you to emphasize the actual reverse del hiva hook, how it's similar to half guard, where you don't really want your knee to be resting on the ground.
Oh yeah, okay, good point, Ed. Very good. So if Dave is in the reverse, coming into the reverse del hiva, I do have to keep this knee in nice and close and elevate it up. The moment when my knee starts dropping down, this hook becomes very weak. You see how I could barely hook around his knee? And then he has the ability to just slice through.
Haven't been doing that lately.
But if it's high, the higher the better. Okay? If I can get my foot all the way by his hip, it actually raises my knee. And once again, if Dave tries to go forward, I lift my foot and it makes his foot light. He can't really properly put the pressure. The only way he can put his pressure is to back up, and that's okay because I'm going to be playing from this distance. But he can't come forward with that pressure because I have this hook elevating. Notice this also puts me in this position where my head is lower than his head. This is similar to half guard. If he were to drop his knee, this is a good position for me to be in half guard because I can get the underhook, and it's very difficult for him to get the underhook because his head is too high. If my head is lower, it's very difficult for me to get the underhook, but now Dave is flattening me out. So when we're playing reverse del hiva, a nice high hook, my knee is up, pointed up, and my head is positioned lower than his head. If Dave starts backing away from me too much, I usually will let go of this hook because now I could barely hold it. You see, I barely have my toes around, so I would like to take my foot out and try to catch his other leg. He wants to, of course, step over it. As he gets close, I'm going to come in nice and deep, control the ankle.
Can you put in a deep hook real quick?
Yeah.
I'm just going to spin you. Alright, everybody see that on the camera there?
Yeah, so it's nice and high, wrapped around his leg. His foot is over here. My knee is nice and high. My head is lower than his head. So if he does pressure forward, it puts me in position that I can get underneath him.
This is one of my favorites. I probably hit this on Dave 20,000 times. And it's the exact reason you're saying is as soon as you start to elevate him, he's going to back away. And you can hit this as a timing move. As he starts to back away, boom.
Boom, and you put him on their butt. Yeah. So the tripod sweep, I think, when people are first learning reverse del hiva, that should be the first one you get. Because it's low risk. And then you know exactly where to put your legs to defend the pass, and how to put them on their butt once you get the sweep, and then you can start setting stuff
So
up.
I got Yves Velez. Can you show a different angle of the legs? So I can
Oh,
see-
okay. So maybe this way. So we're here. Maybe is this the same angle or different?
No, you're good there.
Okay. So my foot is hooked nice and high. Of course, I want my other foot on the inside. So if his arm is a little bit on the outside, and of course, as his knee pressures forward, I want to lift. And you see where my head is? It's lower than his head, and it puts me in position to be nice and tight with my hooks. Then if he starts back away, puts his weight on this leg, this is where I catch the ankle, trip, I come here, circle my foot in, and then lift his leg up. I want to be like this, picking up the leg, so if he tries to get up, I just elevate. A lot of times you can go into a full leg drag, which is really ideal. If you get a full leg drag, the person has both knees facing the wrong direction. It's hard for them to get a good guard.
So now when you put me on my butt, can we get into a race? Like if I can get your ankle before we get here.
Oh, okay.
Can we get here and whoever's tipping
Whoever's
first?
whoever's side is going to win. Okay. Of course, because you're falling, I should always have that idea. As soon as you fall this way, I turn.
Okay, so you should be ahead of me.
Yeah, I should.
But if you pause, I have an opportunity to come back up and
Yeah, a
keep
lot
you
of
on
times
my
I
butt.
think a common mistake is that people go here and they just try to get up this way. Now, if
Right,
there's a
that gives
race,
you the opportunity.
Dave's going to definitely have the advantage there. So as he falls, I should be falling and turning. You got to get that muscle memory. Every time you trip him, you fall and you turn this way so that my head is all the way here, making myself heavy. The only hip he can get to is this hip, which is the side that he's going to need to get up. And then I knock him over. Underneath, knock him over. Cool. So once we get that down, probably the technique that most people associate with reverse Salahiva is the kiss of the dragon. So it's basic back take. It requires you to go upside down and invert, and a lot of people think that they can't do it because they're too big or
I think I could do it right now still.
good. But once you understand like body positioning, you realize that the inversion, it doesn't require a ton of flexibility. Like my neck isn't super flexible, and a lot of people like we do this yoga stretch where you come up and try to touch your feet to the floor. I do struggle getting my feet to the floor with both feet on the floor. However, you don't need to get that far. This is how much of an inversion you need. This is as much you need. You need your lower back to come off the floor, and you need your knees directly over your shoulders.
So you're really riding on your shoulder blades.
Exactly. So you're on your shoulder blades, not really on your neck. If you are completely onto your neck too much, then sometimes like people who are really flexible like to do that. You make too much space, and the people can like back out of
Okay.
any back take opportunities. They just like pull their leg out, high step and stuff. So the kiss of the dragon starts the same way. I got my reverse Salahiva hook, hands framed, my lasso's in. I push him back. I want his weight on the other leg. Okay? He dropped to his knee, which is fine. Okay?
Do you want me to stay standing?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if he drops to his knee, same thing. I still got to keep his weight there. It's when I notice this happens. If he goes to one knee and then ends up doing this. No. Keeps his knee down, but ends up bending his knee in more. I can't spin now. I'm like running into his knee. I need less resistance. So I got to keep his weight here. In fact, I like to see if his hand is on the mat. This is a good indication of where his weight is. If his hand is in front of his knee this way, this is when this knee bends more. But if his knee's on the other side, if his hand's on the other side of his knee, that means his weight is over here and I can start spinning. So now I take my hand underneath, a deep underhook. And my other hand, I maintain distance. Do not go like this and start pulling the person in and then get caught. If you can grip here, that's fine, but you're going to push the whole time. My legs are going to be extended the whole time, and now I just lift my hips, and I end up going onto my shoulder. This foot is tight. I don't go like this and swing to get all the way over here. I keep the distance right here. Now I fall to my other hip, and I keep his leg elevated so that I can, so this is the Kissler Dragon right here, where I have 1 foot hooked, 1 foot behind the leg. Now all I have to do is take the back. I take this foot out, it was here, I put it across the other hip, take my other foot around his hip, take my hand, push his leg forward, and then we take the back. All right, let's move back quite a bit. So I frame, lasso, I have good defense right here. I push him back, he's shifting his weight back, so I make sure, as I put this hand underneath, I make sure that his weight is all the way on that leg. At this point, I like to sometimes use my hand underneath just to help me invert. So I go like this, and it helps me invert when I do it slow. This foot is hooked. This foot is helping me elevate his leg, and then I force him like all the way over here. Taking this foot, I hook right around here, take my other foot, hook over here, and now I take this hand to push his leg forward. Now he sits, upper body control, I kind of look at his legs, I decide which one I want to put in. If I put this hook in, I fall to that side, then I put the top hook. Sometimes you end up putting the other hook in, and then you just got to fall to the other hip.
Yeah, why don't you try to do it the straight on?
Straight on, like this.
Yeah, like that.
Boom. So I frame, lasso. Now I push, make him shift his weight, I come underneath, and then I invert. Now notice that I have a good hook right around his leg. I want to elevate his leg. Why? Because the moment I allow his leg to touch the mat, he can start shifting his weight and turning. Now step around the gate, and he removes himself from the guard. However, if I do this and elevate, now Dave has all his weight on the other leg, which makes it easier for me to get to an attacking position. Let's go a little bit further because the heel takes a lot of space.
I think look this way this time.
Oh.
Give just everybody a different angle.
So I have my foot in the right spot, my hands are framed, I push, I underhook, I reach underneath, and I spin. I get to this position, I want to elevate up, taking my foot, hooking right over here, take my other foot, hooking underneath, and then I push. Now, maybe this time I want to put my other hook in. So I'll put this hook in, take him to the side, and then I put my other hook in.
You got
So-
far from that side.
What's that?
You got far away from the camera.
I know, we ended up really far.
Do one each, like just without, you can do it without talking. The straight on one, further back, and then the opposite way, this way, because you're going to go that way.
Yeah, okay.
So real quick though, you're saying it, but I just want to make sure everyone understands how much when you're finishing the back take, my leg that's straight, the one you elevated through the move, that's really the one that you're driving away. Although you have both like butterfly hooks from the back, your one that's on my knee, that's on the ground, that's not really doing much driving. It's this one that's making me sit to my butt.
So that's an important thing to understand. Like, there's a time when you want to extend both legs, and there's a time to extend only one leg. My rule is this. If a person is on both of their feet, you extend both of the legs. If the person is on one knee, then you only extend the leg that they're standing on. You don't want to extend the knee because their weight is all the way here. You're not going to move this leg that well. But this one, you kick it forward and you force them to kind of almost sit, almost in like a front split kind of position. So let's look at the move. We'll just do it. We'll do it like twice in a row without really much talking. You're just going to kind of watch me drill it, and we'll do a few different angles.
Okay.
So if you're going to do a straight, oh yeah, if you're going to do that way, you can do it.
So a lot of it, if you notice on that one, I started spinning as I elevated with my foot. So it puts my head really low, forces his hand on the mat, makes it easy for me to spin. Sometimes people get stuck halfway because they didn't position their body in the spot where you're able to spin. All right.
Momentum definitely helps this move.
Yeah, this move you need momentum. The moment the momentum isn't there, it's like trying to roll that wheel up the hill and then it just comes right back, you know?
And another thing you touched on was your other hand pulling. That can definitely help keep the momentum or help you start with your momentum if you're stuck. So if you are stuck, if you have something in the way, use your free hand and grab the collar like Yanni was pulling, the leg, and pull and get that momentum started.
Yeah, sometimes people don't see the like little mini battles that might happen. The person's grabbing. All of a sudden the person gets underneath and spins. It's because the only reason they're able to spin at that moment is because all the little fights happened already, you know? Like maybe they're grabbing, pulling you in.
Another thing is, the less flexible you are, the more you have to be aware of your head position. Because if your head gets too far away from your hips, that's how you kind of get detached from as you're going upside down.
Head position is very important. So that definitely, like, if you have trouble doing this, just make sure your head position is just slightly better. Also, you'll just be that, like, especially if you're the type of person that rolls and doesn't roll like at a very high speed, right? Like I like to roll fairly slow when I'm rolling. But I like doing this move a lot. This is like one of my main go-to moves. I don't use a lot of speed when I do it, though. I usually just like position my body first, and then it almost feels like if you get the timing right, it feels fast, but it's not necessarily about speed.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you force it with speed, people see it coming. They feel that energy.
My question was, when you find that your head is too far away, do you think that it's easier to back out and go to regular De La Riva? Because now there's all that space.
Yeah, so you have that situation where if the person is backed away too far. So if my legs are completely extended, he's kind of sitting away, and all of a sudden you notice that this foot is like, I still have the hook a little bit, but I'm starting to lose it a little bit. And he may start straightening the leg. This is a common thing that a top person may do to free themselves because they want to like jump past your leg. So at this point, I want to always remove this hook and look to catch the other leg, because if he comes in on me, he's got to run into my leg. Then maybe I can catch it again and then start going again. But I don't want to be reaching here and then this foot comes in and then he ends up stuffing me and getting chest to chest. We all know that like the most common way to pass someone's guard at all levels is just getting that chest to chest, flattened out half guard. I feel like that's the main way.
Another thing is the basic one, when you're saying that you don't want people to pass, the basic guard retention is you're not going to extend your legs too far away from your body. If they're standing far away from you, you're not going to try and touch them with it. This is the same, even though you're connected, you don't want your bottom knee to get completely
just extended. Like any guard retention always talks about protecting this space, right, between the hips and the armpits by keeping the knees in, keeping your legs in. The person backs away. I don't go like this to chase him down because then I'm making the space bigger. They can get into side control. They can go to quick knee on belly or stuff like that. So you keep it like this. So if the person's back away, I'm going to come in, but I'm going to still have my legs wide enough that I can scoop. I'm going to catch them in some sort of guard. You know, if there's like a big leak, you're going to put a nice big bucket underneath to try to catch all the water. You know, that's what we're kind of do. Look to catch all the water. Let's see. So we did the Kiss of the Dragon, which is an important one. A lot of people like that move, and it's always there if you look for it. My other favorite technique from the reverse De La Riva that sometimes looks a little advanced.
Lauren, I was going to ask you this too. Can you show it standing up? Off balance them is harder for me when they're standing since they don't post a hand and then use that hand to block.
Yeah, I mean, the concept's exactly the same. Nothing. In fact, I would say when they're on one knee, it's actually a little bit tougher. But maybe you rarely roll with someone that stays on one knee.
Well, what we were just talking about, your leg getting extended, that could happen a little more if they stand and really back away, because now they're really far away if they're standing.
Yeah, so just make sure you maintain a distance and keep the person all the way on that far leg. So if Dave stays on his feet.
Do you still go for a Kiss of the Dragon if I stay on my feet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Only if I'm able, but I will say this, only if my head's in a good spot.
Okay.
So I come here, notice that I'm coming in like this. This isn't okay to go for Kiss the Dragon. His weight is on this leg. I can feel where his weight is. Don't do it from here, because then you end up having to use momentum and then you lose the position. You want to keep it here. You come this way, and now I have to actually chase the person. I have to lift my hips high and reach for that leg. So it takes more of a reach. But then once I'm here, everything's the same. I make sure that this arm is hooked around the leg. If Dave tries to pull his leg out, I'm going to be attached to him. This underhook is so important.
Yeah, why don't you turn this way so they can see the grip? Just yes, turn. There you go.
So this hand right here, I hook and bite down. So you can't just pull the leg out. A lot of people get to here, then they go right to the belt. They try to go to the belt and the person turns on them. But if I have his leg, I have to understand what's the battle at any moment. This is the battle right now. The battle for this leg. He tries to pull it out, I stay sticky to him. Then I start taking this foot, I hook here and here. Now he's on both feet. This means when I go to grip his pants, I extend both legs and I sit him down. I wouldn't extend one leg. A lot of times though, people will end up starting on one foot, then they drop to their knee because they're defending the position. Like if Dave is doing it to the dragon to me and I'm staying upright.
You want me to start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're here, comes here, right? A lot of times we get to this position and the person does this. They go put their hand on the mat and they try to pull away. Now I'm on one knee. Now Dave comes underneath and then he starts extending this leg out this way. Boom. And now he has my back.
See, I was confident showing that one.
I give him a little pull. I
Still could do it too, even though this thing's in the way.
I know.
I
Muscle
think
memory.
when they get far away like that, like she's saying, I think she's having a problem feeling it as opposed to seeing it. Like when you could see the hand, it's more obvious. And
Yeah.
they're kind of closer to you. When they're up, your bottom leg is actually really important for keeping that weight off. Just
I think the thing that you might be missing, Lauren, is that your reverse del Hiva hook might be a little bit loose. So focus more on the tightness, like how deep that hook is, and then you'll be able to position your body in the right spot. So if I'm here, I have a real deep reverse del Hiva hook. When I go to push away and then I come in this way, it's kind of easy to spin and get upside down. It's when, let's just say he just steps back a little bit and we're kind of like this, and I come here, what ends up happening is now I spin and all of a sudden he's not there anymore. I've seen this happen a lot. It's because the hips are too low with the hook. As I push, my hips are slightly up so that when I come underneath here, I'm going to have nice control above his knee, close to his hip, hooking right over here. And now you're able to finish the technique. Good, so we'll go back to the other one. So one move I like to use is I connect it kind of like X guard. It's like a combination of X guard and the waiter sweep. For the most part, I just do a technical stand up like a X guard, but my legs are not in an X guard orientation. They're in the waiter sweep orientation. One knee in and one leg in. So we're here. I'm going to do a cross collar grip here. Maybe he's gripping here. I always take his hand out and I come in this way. Sometimes what ends up happening is that we're stuck in this position, so I can pull him this way to make him step. You see how he automatically step? Okay. If he doesn't step, I can sometimes just sweep him right over my head. I can just like balance him and start coming up. So the person is almost always going to step. So I have this grip on the sleeve, under here, and I start pulling him this way. Now he stepped, his knee is close to my head. I'm going to let go of the sleeve, and I'm going to reach underneath his knee. My knees right now are facing him. Now I get him facing the other way. So I pull this forward, and I point my knee up, and then I turn it across. So this foot hooks all the way across with my knee diagonally across. Let's turn a little bit.
You want me to stay on my foot?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, do the straight arm version. I think that's a good one.
So we're over here. My knee is hooked all the way across. Now at this point, I take my other foot and I step on his knee. And now I'm going to let go with this hand at this point because I'm going to use this to get up. I'm going to push. I use my elbow on the mat. This foot that was hooked, it now comes out. And now I do my technical stand-up. Right over here.
Is Stan watching this? We had a big little thing.
Really?
Little class.
Yeah, he was insisting on standing up on the wrong foot. I said,
Oh.
how are you getting up?
Oh, he was getting up with the
Yeah.
legs crossed. Yeah. Here's the thing: when you get up on the wrong foot, sometimes you can get it to work, but against someone like your size or bigger than you, you're trying to get up with your legs crisscrossed. You want to open your legs.
I think you're exactly right. That's one of the problems when you get positive feedback in a negative position.
Yeah.
You kind of keep doing it, and then you'll
You
run
keep
into the
doing it
guy
and
that
thinking
won't-
it's right
Then
because
they
you're
run into
bigger.
Yanni and they're like, oh, this will never work.
Yeah, you're like, oh, maybe I'll do a different move. But it's just because they're accepting a weak position and legs crossed. This is a weak position. You look at my body, my spine is round. Open my legs this way. Now I can open my chest and I can.
We tried to just explain it by using the basic technical stand-up.
Yeah.
You need your foot on the ground here. You're not going to get up. I don't even know how he did it. But we talked about it for a long time. Argued a little bit
Well,
back
we were
and forth.
arguing in the middle of class because I showed the X guard and he's contradicting what I showed. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
That's not good.
So that's funny. So you're having this like debate.
In the front of all these
middle of
people.
class, So then we had a show though. Like if you're trying to stand up the wrong way, I can keep pushing back into you, and you have no way to stop me.
Yeah. Sometimes you do a move right and no one presents the right problems, but then you run into the people. You want to make sure that you identify what would go wrong if the person is bigger than you, if the person is experienced, they have great balance, they can do a front split and stuff like that. And knowing what can go wrong and then just kind of like tweaking everything so that it can hopefully still work most of the time. Even if you do it 100% right, doesn't mean you don't meet those freak athletes that are able to stay on their one foot, you know?
So yeah, I do it straight on. I think it's a better angle. For
Which way?
You coming straight to the camera. Yeah, like this.
So we're here, I frame, lasso, and I get that cross collar grip. This hand, I want to get rid of his grip. Sometimes I'll grab the sleeve and grab it. Sometimes I'll just grab his wrist and I'll just push. This is sometimes a little easier to break his grip. It's easier to break it, and then I come underneath. Knowing that he has no hand, I'm going to pull him towards where that hand would normally post, so he forces his leg to post. Now I'm going to underhook, and then I'm going to pull him forward, bringing my knee all the way across. This leg is now going to kick away. I already feel like I don't have him where I want him. I would like this leg to be somewhere over here. So when this happens and you see you have nothing to step on, use this hook forward. And it kind of, he actually stand when I do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
let's go back a step.
And Dave, don't be bad.
So when I go like this, he's going to take a small step. That's kind of what I want him to do. Now look, I have more of his leg to grab, to step on. Now I'm not going to use this because one counter to any X-guard type sweep is for him to pull my sleeve up, and now I can't get up. So as soon as I get here, I start pulling my elbow back, forcing all his weight on that leg, and then I get up on my elbow. Now I'm going to get up. As you see, you end up with an underhook. You can go into stack passing.
No, why don't you fall into a triangle?
Sometimes people try to get up too early and they fall into triangles. This is and it's not like they're doing it on purpose either. They just, at that moment, they're not thinking there's a triangle there. They're thinking, I'm gonna get on top of them. So we don't want to make that mistake. You want to make sure that you're always thinking one step ahead. Like as I get up with good posture. I don't go forward, or I sometimes inadvertently end up posting with the hand that I would get triangled with. You know?
No, that's not necessarily just this sweep. That happens a lot with X-guard sweeps. It's anytime you have that leg over your shoulder, so just be aware.
Yeah, so that's why we're saying, like, you want to get up, you want to open your chest and get up like in this type of posture. When you're getting up, driving forward at the same time, your arm is going to naturally fall into their guard, and you may end up getting caught in triangles.
That's how I tapped Ed the last time.
Never.
Really?
Never.
Did you guys hear that? Are you guys excited for the?
I would do it right now, but Dave's scared. He don't want to do it.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah, no, you have coronavirus. Stay away from me.
He's waiting till the vaccine comes out. Actually,
That's right. Yes, that's a good idea. I'm going to postpone the challenge match until the vaccine comes out.
Awesome.
2023.
All right, so let's see that move one more time. Let's see if I think we're
Do you want to do a total opposite direction?
actually no. I just wanted more space, so we'll just turn this way slightly. So we're here. We do the cross grip. He's grabbing my pants, so I'm gonna push his hand off, come underneath. Now I'm gonna force him to step by pulling him towards towards the hand that I'm gripping. Now I come underneath. I start coming this way. My foot is hooked across. It's like the reverse de la riva, but it's facing the opposite direction. Now I can tell that his weight is a little bit behind me, so I'm just gonna kick to make him walk, and now I can put my foot right where I want it. Use the elbow to get up. Put his weight. Make sure his weight is all the way on that supported leg, and then I get up. Now I'll come underneath. I'm safe to go into my passing postures, whether I'm doing double unders, over under, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's about all the techniques that I like going over. So I'm just going to quickly.
Wait. We got to do one more.
One
What do you mean? You don't want to do one more? Yeah, the one where if I'm not letting you grab my wrist, you push on my knee with the lapel.
Oh, okay. So we start
Yeah.
adding the lapel grips. Okay, that's another good one.
This is what he shows together. I'm just requesting it now.
Absolutely, that is part of my. Usually, when I do teach the other, and also the kiss of the dragon works well with the other one as well, because if I have the sleeve, and you posture up to pull out of the sleeve grip, I can spin into the kiss of the dragon. So let's look at the lapel. So if you guys like using lapels, especially if you have like a good solid like single leg takedown, using the lapels like an extra hand gives you the extra grip. So if
Did I throw a big wrench into your?
no,
All right, good.
I always teach those together for sure. So I come here, I'm stepping on his hip. Okay, I feed the grip. Maybe for whatever reason he's hiding his hand, so he's not giving me that grip. When he's hiding his hand, I can always open up the lapel because there's no pressure on me right over here. And when I make this grip here, I always have my fist facing his leg, so if he comes close to me, I can keep that distance. It's funny, like the little bit of difference between coming here and then he comes in and now he can hug my neck. But if I keep this away, he tries to hug my neck, I'm still using my legs, I keep him away. Now I'm going to go to a sitting guard. So to do that, I use my feet, both feet at the same time. I extend, I take this foot out as if I'm recovering full de la riva guard, and then I sit up. As I sit up, I'm going to let go of that cross collar grip. I'm going to wrap around his knee, thumb in. Now I feed the lapel. Of course, I want to hide my hand as much as possible. When I make this grip, if it's super deep, he can grab his own gi and break the grip. I come here, then I hide my hand a little bit. When he goes to grip it, it's going to be very difficult. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to grab the pants nice and low. So this is like, I don't know like which guys use this the most. I got this a lot from watching Adolfo Vieira use this a lot. He likes coming right from here. He's going to drop down, putting the head underneath his head and grip. Low grip, just like a spider guard. Now as I fall, I use my outside knee, and then I get up to my knees. Once I'm on my knees, I just use my head to take him down, like I'm wrestling him down to the ground, pulling everything in. Let's get back a
I
little
love
bit.
this sweep.
Yeah, it's a very strong sweep, and a lot of times, like if you just need to get on top,
Here, yeah, just change your angle this way. There you go. That's good.
if you just need to get on top, a lot of times this is a good way to get it because of the power of these grips. So I start this way, he's hiding the hand, I can go right for the lapel. Now I'm going to push with both legs, take this foot out, and I keep this on his leg as I sit up. Nice deep grip, hiding my hand, pulling my thumb away. Okay? Now, as I take this foot down, I move in. This is important, okay? If I drop this leg, look how far away I am to his leg. He can avoid it and then possibly put his head in my chest. So what I want to do is, as I drop my leg, I come in right here. Now it's easy to grip, and I fall. As I fall, I bump him. I get up. Now I use my head as I pull everything in. Okay? Look where his legs are. They're facing this direction. This means if I tripod up, I can go right to a pass. Ideally towards his back because he's not defending in that direction. If I were to try to jump in front of him, he would use his hands to recover his guard.
Yeah, are there any choking type grips when you're in that sit-up guard that would make you change plans?
Like he's attacking with a choke?
Yeah, any kind of grips. Or like a loop choke or something.
Yeah, I suppose there's a chance for a loop choke just because your head's right there. However, because you're so close to the legs, if they ignore the if they ignore the takedown, they're gonna have to post their hands, right? So
I'm saying before you get the actual grip, like
the second grip?
Yeah, right when you sit up, you just have the foot controlling this. From right here. Is there any way they can attack or bother you here?
Yeah, so for him to do a loop choke, I would end up having to go to my back to defend it. So I would have to go this way. Boom. And then if he stays here, I can always pull this sleeve in and do possible sitting, very similar to like when we do this one where we pass the cross sleeve, use a similar action. However, if we're here, if he's starting to pull my head in and go for like a loop choke here.
Oh, loop choke answer.
Yeah. I would just have to make space, come in, and then start coming in this way. At this point, I can easily force it. Once my head is in here, I can easily force his hands on the mat because all I got to do is just take this foot that's between his legs and kick right between. He's got to post his hands. So anytime there's a threat of someone using some sort of counter grip and you're playing bottom position, usually the best answer is some sort of off balance and make them put their hands on the mat. If they have to worry about their base, they have no chance to properly attack.
Good. That was my only request.
That was the only request?
Yeah.
Good.
I love that one, that's why.
Yeah, it's a good suite. You have a good system right there, and they all work with each other.
You just did my whole game. Like, that's
your whole game. That's really all you need. See,
we didn't do half guard.
No, but my real game.
So reverse del Hiva you don't need like a wide range of moves because there's only so many ways someone will pass, right? Someone passing reverse del Hiva, they're most likely gonna just look to pressure, cut the knee across. Other than that, they have to disengage from reverse del Hiva to like a.
Well, one of the things I tell people that I'm trying to show reverse del Hiva or they're having a lot of problems is it's not a guard that you can hang out with them putting pressure on you. You need to be able to elevate their hips.
Exactly.
Either to switch in or out of the guard or to do your sweeps.
Yeah, so switching out, like the first technique I showed everyone today was just how to push someone back so that your legs can go back to del Hiva. That should always be the first thing you learn. Because if you understand that, okay, it's not offensive, you didn't score a move, but you also kept the person at a certain range where they didn't even begin their own offense. So always keeping them at that range. Then we start adding the tripod because the tripod works really well with recovering guard because you're at a pretty long range and it's low risk, and if you can knock them over, I see lots of people like hitting this on upper belts when they first learn it and then thinking, oh wow, this is a move. Now I understand reverse del Hiva,
Well, then remember when we first saw Guy do that overhead sweep and you're like, wow, how can you ever really hit something like this? If you do the tripod sweep, people are naturally, once they roll with you a while, like, all right, I know what he's doing. They're going to come forward, and that's when you can use like the move looks really slick. When
exactly.
you do it, you're like, no way, you can't do this.
I know, but it's like they have to give you the reaction that you want, but it's actually not too bad if you're constantly threatening them, constantly keeping them back, and they're like, no, I don't want to give up. I don't want to go back into a spider guard. I want to come forward. That's when you can start getting underneath them. Kiss of the Dragon, and then you start adding the Kiss of the Dragon, all of a sudden you have a big way to get underneath someone. They no longer can smash you, and then you're going to be behind them, which is best position. Best way to sweep someone is to threaten their back because people will give up top position to not get their back taken. So you don't even need a full back attack. You just need to get there, get behind them, And then as you get up, you just stay nice and tight and wrestle your way up to the top. Awesome. Thanks, guys,
Thank you.
for coming out today. Of course, don't forget, make sure you guys checked out.
Yeah. So today, it was the George Cernak interview. So George
Awesome.
was all 3 of our first instructors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a pretty cool interview. He had a lot of good stuff. Make sure you check it out. To the Deaf Podcast. Find it on tothedeafpodcast.com.
Yep, George was my original martial arts instructor before I even did jiu-jitsu, and then he got me into jiu-jitsu as well. So he, of course, runs Henzo Gracie Denville, which a lot of our students are aware of since we just did the beginning of the year. We did the in-school tournament, which was a lot of fun. So definitely give that a listen. You're going to hear some great stories.
About Henzo Gracie himself,
Yeah.
John Danaher, big names.
Yeah, you get to hear about the early days, you know. I mean,
Wild West. It was definitely pretty cool. I never
They were
heard
doing
some of
Fight
those
Club.
stories.
Did you know they were doing Fight Club in this school?
it wasn't this school.
No, it wasn't this school.
It
It was
was
the art
the Taekwondo school.
Yeah.
In Elmwood Park. I remember actually the exact event. I watched the VHS because they taped it, and then I watched it. I was like, damn, Excalibur Tiger punching this karate guy in the face is great. Definitely check it out, guys.
All right.
See you guys in the next one.